Hello everyone, Nev here, and today is going over my magical month of February. All right, I've got my tarot journals and my spiritual journal, and this is my health tracker that I also do some menstrual tarot readings in, so that's what I got here. All right, where do I begin? All right, yeah, I just got back from the doctor's office, not my doctor's appointment, just a routine checkup for my my middle daughter. Yeah, so as soon as I walked in the door, I went straight to this little section here to start doing this video. All right, so let's see. So this was January, and here we go, February, Fiaura. That's in Irish is February. All right, so we had in bulk, we had the first quarter moon, the full moon, the sun entered Pisces, third quarter moon, and the new moon. Yeah, and I'm actually filming it on this day. I did my new moon reading earlier in the day, so I just did that one. All right, and let's go to, so that was the full moon. Yeah, I think we are here for the new moons. So I don't have a print off of the readings that I did right now. I just haven't gotten around printing them off. But when I upload this video, I think I will go ahead and put in the I'll overlay the picture of the reading on the screen. So I did the first quarter moon. I did with the Art of Adventure and the This Might Help Oracle. And here we are. Okay, let me pull these out. All right. Okay, so the Art of Adventure and the This Might Help. Here we go. Let's split the deck here, and we can look at and see how this looks. All right. So the This Might Help Oracle is one that when I first got it, I didn't like it very much. And it was because like I had a weird reading with it that just didn't sit right, and I don't know. There was something about the deck that it didn't work when I first got it. But it's a very, like, the colors are nice and simple and easy to match with other decks. And I love the hollow detail in it. But yeah, and I've come to really enjoy this deck much more than I did in the beginning, and so much so that because this deck you could only get if you got the limited edition of the This Might Hurt tarot from Liminal 11, and this came with that if you got the limited edition. So you could only get this if you got that deck. And I've got to say that This Might Hurt tarot is at this point in time, like, my feelings have sort of switched on the decks, and now I actually really like this deck quite a bit. And I almost never use the This Might Hurt tarot, and I'm really considering rehoming it, honestly, which is not something I normally would do. But and I think what I'm enjoying about this deck is that it's just a keyword and an image, and it's nice and simple, and it does match with almost, like, it matches with lots of different decks. Looks great with this one, and the style of cards that I've really been drawn to lately have been this sort of style where it's just a simple keyword with a simple image. Ooh, look at that, the bonfire here with the bonfire in the Hermit card. By the way, this deck is amazing. I love the Art of Adventure tarot. Yeah, so and of course they look they look great together. So very happy with that. The thing with the This Might Help Oracle here is they're taking certain symbols from the different tarot cards and separating out that particular image. Like, I think for the veil, I think this is connected to the High Priestess because it's card number 2. So I think it's connected to the High Priestess. So it's focusing on that element of of the High Priestess. And so, yeah, so, and I find that to be quite interesting. So here's the Magician's Wand. So it's very, it's focusing on the Magician's Wand in there. Like, that's what the focus is. So it would be kind of neat to have like if in a reading the Magician came up, but I also find it kind of interesting that it doesn't show up. So we got Lovers and Temperance with the Magician's Wand in the middle. That's interesting. That's something we can read on. And I found this style did help with my, oops, this is upside down, with my understanding of this deck. And yeah, and I think I did pull this card with another card that had a blindfold. I don't know if it was this deck or if it's a different deck, but yeah. And I was like, wow, perfect. So yeah, I did really enjoy this. So let me go ahead and put these away. Okay, so the next moon reading was the full moon in Leo, and I used the Cowgirls and Aliens Oracle and the Wonder World Tarot, so let me pull that out right now. Oh my goodness, I almost spoiled this, but I already made the bag for the Cowgirls and Aliens, but I wanted to wait to show that bag. So in March, there will be a video going over all the bags I've made. I actually made several bags in February, so I'm really excited to go over that in March. So I quickly put the bag to the side here, but here is the Cowgirls and Aliens. I'm going to put that right there and pull out my Wonder World deck here. Let's see. All right, let's see. I really love this deck, the Wonder World Tarot. It's a fun one. I love the art in it, and this did look pretty cool. So here's, like I've mentioned this a lot, my main issue, the only real issue I have with the Cowgirls and Aliens is the phrase underneath, not aspiration, but the affirmation, that I will keep practicing until I master my craft for the gunslinger. Oh God, like I really dislike the affirmations at the bottom, because like when I see this card, like hiding that, I'm like looking at, I see this title, the gunslinger, and the image, and I have a certain idea of what that means and what that's portraying. And I think, you know, my mind goes a bit more on the cartomantic side of things with this instead of the affirmation side, because I'm actually not a big fan of affirmation decks in general. I do have some, and I don't mind them sometimes, but I don't really like affirmations. So, and then I feel like most of the affirmations in this deck just don't really make sense for the card. Like the Highwayman here, like I would think this is kind of a card talking about a sort of deceit or forcefulness or something like that. Yeah, you know, and then there's an abduction going on in the background that, like, you know, I would think in those terms of that's how I would read this. And then you look at the thing at the bottom and it says, I am determined and will keep trying. And it's just like, what does that have to do with the highway? Like, I just get, like, I don't like the affirmations at all. And I know they kind of explain it a bit in the book, but like I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to go look at the book. You know, I'm sure there's a great explanation, but like I'm just not going to like it. And like, you know, I will go with the flow for the Undertaker. Oh my God, like that is not how I would read that at all. And it just, I think it makes me angry, you know? So like, I love this deck. I love the portrayal on it, and it does look great with the Wonder World Tarot here. But I cannot stand the affirmation. So I am 100% going to cover those up somehow, paint over it or something. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, this was a good reading. I liked this combination. You know, I just ignored the affirmation as best as I could when I read with this, and I went off of what my understanding of what the prospector would mean, and you know, and then combining it with the other cards. So, yeah. All right, so that was the Cowgirls and Aliens and the Wonder World Tarot. Okay, so the next reading, this was the third quarter moon in Sagittarius, and I only used Let me reach over here and get it. I only use the Cosmic Slumber Tarot, which I'll actually go through when I go through my tarot journal, my nightly tarot journal here, because I combined it with another deck. So I'll show it then. But yeah, so I used the Cosmic Slumber for this reading, and this turned out great. I gotta say, like, every time, like, I don't use this deck a whole lot, but I find that when I do use it, I use it in chunks, like chunks of time, I mean, and I'll use it for several different readings. And that is actually how I use this. I used this for this reading. I also used it in for a week in my nightly tarot journal. And I also chose this deck for, let's see, it was over here. My my mind is blank. My astrology study. Yes, my Pisces astrology study. I chose this deck to represent Pisces. So I'll go over that a little bit later. So, all right. And then after that, and I also did that with Sri Rama, which was one of the Hindu gods that I pulled for my monthly cards. I'm pulling three monthly Hindu deities and three Lenormand cards each month, and they're tucked away in envelopes, and I have videos of that. Opening my monthly envelopes will be every month. I've done it twice now, for January and for February. In my three cards, Sri Rama, and then Mariamman, and also the Tulsiaman. Those were my three cards this month. So for Sri Rama is who I focused on for this third quarter moon. And let's see, did I do anything? No, I didn't have... my first quarter moon reading, I actually did with Tulsiaman. So, and one of my spreads during my menstrual cycle was with Mariamman. So I used all three of them this month, like not used, but worked with all three of them this month in some aspect or another. So then the last moon reading was one that I actually just did today, and this one I did with On Morrigan. I often focus new moon readings on Morrigan, and I think I may, because for 2023, I did, every new moon was with On Morrigan, and every full moon was with the goddess Bridget. And then I did Lu and Dagda for the other two. And that was like all year I did that. And I think I might continue that, at least for On Morrigan. I may do Breach again for the full moons. I don't think I did with this one, because I didn't put her name in here, so I guess I didn't, but I mean, February was the beginning of February was also in bulk, so yeah, so let me just pull out the decks for this. This was Memento Mori and Crow Tarot. So here we are. I don't have a bag for the Memento Mori, and this is the Memento Mori without the Lenormand cards in here. I separated the Lenormand out and put them in a separate container. What's in here is the main pack, along with the general expansion and the folk magic expansion. That's what I have as my Memento Mori deck. I also have the Ancestors one, and I have, oh gosh, what's the other one? Yeah, I think I just have the Ancestor one right now, but I would love to get that timing pack as well. So I keep the Lenormand in the general expansion box. But yeah, so I don't have a bag for this yet, but now that I feel like I've sort of completed this deck, I think I am going to create a bag for this deck. But yeah, anyway, let me separate this out. Okay, I zoomed out a little bit to show this because what I had actually done for my reading, and these were actually some of the exact cards that I pulled, because I didn't shuffle them before I pulled out some of these cards. But what I had done was for this particular reading, I had used a spread that I found on Instagram, and if I remember where I got it from, what account it came from, I will go ahead and put that up on the screen during editing. But yeah, so what I had done is I took that spread and I pulled one card from the from the Memento Mori for each of the positions, and one card from the Crow Tarot to go along with it. So it was basically 2 cards per position. And I'll also put a picture of that reading up on the screen. But yeah, and I actually really love this. So yeah, let me, I have the 2, let me just pull like from here like this. Yeah, so I really liked the way this looked. And I also really liked the messages that I got from this, because this was done with On Morgan. So I did do a full like meditation and focus on these cards. And yeah, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words right now because I'm just trying to, you know, I did this spread earlier today, so it's still kind of on my mind, and you know, and it was a really good one, and I loved this combination. And I think what I was trying to say just now was that this Memento Mori deck is one that I've had for a long time. I love the art in this. I love the feel of this deck, but I just had not yet found a purpose for it. And I think this might be one of potentially many purposes that I may actually start really using this deck for, because I actually loved having 2 cards per position, and these 2 decks went together very well, and I felt like it worked well with On Morgan, and I didn't feel like there was any sort of pushback from it. They just seemed to go together, and because I think initially I kind of wanted to use a Memento Mori for ancestor work, maybe, but I still wasn't quite sure. And of course, it matches very well with, say, the Relative Tarot and those decks. So, you know, that was definitely a possibility. But yeah, I really enjoyed pulling a card for each of the positions from that, and a card from the tarot deck, and it was like I was getting a dual, they were playing off of each other. That's kind of what it was. Like, you know, let's see, we have the painting here, and let's say it's matched with the Empress would be a good one for it, but like any card would, but like I would come up with some sort of like both of these cards have to do with creation, so I would really focus on that, and examination, and like I feel like this card is getting a bigger view, whereas this is a more zoomed in view, you know what I mean? So it's like focusing on details right there, whereas it's focusing a bit more on the big picture in this card. But like there was just a nice way of just playing off of each other. Yeah, so I actually really, really enjoyed this combination. So I definitely think I am going to use this combination again in the future. All right. So those were all the moon readings, and we also had a Sabbath this month, so I will go to the Sabbath page. I don't have this page yet, I'm going to put some sort of decorative art or something on this side, but on this side we have Saboidi, which means Sabbaths or Sabbath in Irish, and this is the Japanese. I don't know how to say this off the top of my head right now, but I'd have to look into that and see how that's pronounced. I can't remember. But so far I only have 1 page for in bulk, and again I don't have the print off of the spread that I did, but the deck that I used was the Anima Mundi. So here we go. This is the bag. I love the bag. And the deck right here. I don't think I used this deck for anything else, so I don't think I paired it with anything else. Maybe, I'm not sure. But this is a lovely, lovely deck. Keep it open. There you go. Stay open. But yeah, and while I don't have this deck officially dedicated to Breege, the goddess Breege, it's a deck that I really am drawn to using this deck with her. So it's kind of unofficially her deck. I do use this deck for other things besides that. Like with my Crow Tarot, I have that specifically dedicated to On Morgan. So I only use that deck for readings with On Morgan. I wouldn't really pull it out for a daily reader, for like my nightly reader or something. But Yeah, I pretty much, unless I'm really focusing on the Morgan every night or something, but which maybe I would do. But yeah, in general, I only use that for her. And this deck, oh, I love this card. Sorry, there I had to pause to cough, but yeah, this deck, I feel drawn to use it with Breach. I just don't limit it to Breach, but it was a lovely in bulk reading, and I will go ahead and put a few pictures up of some of my in bulk celebration if you're interested in that. I did have a full video on this on my channel. I did also use OM with this, so that's also featured on my channel, and I think I even forgot about it in that video and had to add the OM part afterward again. So I again forgot about the OM part, but yeah, so I actually did use my OM staves with this deck. So go check out my in bulk video for a more detailed look at that reading. So that was everything from my main spiritual journal. Now this is my, like I said, it's my health journal mostly, but it's also the journal I've been using to do my menstrual readings in. And I don't really plan to share the details of the menstrual readings, but I will open this up and I'll probably just post, if I have a picture of the reading itself, because the reading itself I don't mind showing, but like the details of it, like what I've written down, I think I'm going to keep hidden. Yeah, so this was the first day of, it was like either the first or second day of my period, and I did a spread. The positions were, what am I feeling? What am I, why am I feeling so strongly? How can I release this? What is this feeling transforming into? How can I rise above? What is my new beginning, and what have I learned? So it was it was actually a quite large spread. It was a 7-card spread. Yeah, and I used the Anna K and the Lucid Daydreams. So the Anna K is a deck that I only use for myself. This is not a deck that I use for other people. It's just a deck for myself. So I'm going to do this in the middle. Yeah, and I paired it with the Lucid Daydreams. One of those card positions was for the Lucid Daydreams, and the rest of the card positions were for my Anna K. And I actually quite liked this combination. So the Anna K is like my own personal deck. It's, like I said, I only use it to read for myself with this deck. I don't use it for clients. And it's almost like my therapy deck, you know, if that makes sense. I'm very bonded to this deck, like, for myself, and it's not a deck that I like to use for other people. Ooh, these two cards look pretty nice together. And of course, I love this reading, and it worked very well, and I did enjoy it with the Lucid Daydreams. And what I really like about the Lucid Daydreams is that it's like totally unstructured. Like there's not even keywords. Basically, what I have to go off of with the Lucid Daydreams is the card number and the image itself. Like there's no card name, so when I say what card I got, you know, in like when I record my readings, I just say like card 16. That's what I call it. I call it card number 16. And yeah, and I just kind of, you know, this one I might read as the rope being cut off, and then now having to find a way. You know, that's how I might read that. Barring any like spread positions or something, you know. And I found that I've actually really enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed just kind of this loose approach to reading. It's a very, like, I feel like this deck is really kickstarting my like intuition, you know what I mean? And I love the yellow that's being shown in each of these cards here. Yeah. And I found that this deck pairs really well with a lot of different decks. But yeah, anyway, so that was the Anna K with the Lucid Daydreams. And it's Garden of Lucid Daydreams. I keep forgetting that. It's Garden of Lucid Daydreams, but I want to just keep calling it Lucid Daydreams. And I'm going to keep this off to the side because I paired it with another deck this month too. So I'll keep this off to the side so I can pull it out again. All right, let me go back to my my menstrual readings. All right, so the other menstrual reading was this one, which I will cover up. I think I'll only cover up part of it because I'll just show the little spread here. So this one wasn't specifically necessarily about my period, but it was kind of a post spell spread. So I did a little spell in February, which, you know, it's my own thing. I won't really divulge too much details, but I did a little spell, and I just wanted to do a post spell sort of reading. So and what I used for that was a moon crystal. And here it is. This is, of course, a Sailor Moon themed deck. I'm not going to go through this too much because I also use this during one of my weeks as a nightly reader. And yeah, so I'll probably go over this a little more in detail with the other deck that I used it with. So yeah, of course, there's my Moon Crystal Sailor Moon themed tarot deck. Now, I will say that this is probably the only journal that I'm not quite that's not quite working for me. All of my other journals are working pretty well, and using them as I intended to use them for, I have not even cracked open my Ancestor journal yet. I got one of the A6 Hones from Hobonichi, but I'm planning on using that undated, so it doesn't quite matter that I haven't started with it. So, and it's going to be a long-term use thing, so I'm not too bothered that I haven't really even started with it. But this deck I'm using dated basically, so I'll show some of the beginning parts. Like, I'm recording my menstrual cycle on the side. I'm going to paste something here to cover the side, but like a moon printout. But yeah, I'm circling the days that I was on my period on the side as menstrual tracker, you know, things like that. But this is really not working for me. Like, I just keep forgetting to fill this out. And then I go into it and kind of backfill it and like, did I do this date? And like, I think I did it here, you know, and like just the habit tracking thing is just not really working for me. Like I wanted it to, I really wanted it to, but I don't know. So I don't know if I'll come back to it or not. But here it is. I think what I should have done was just had a journal, and just to record, my menstrual readings, you know, because that's really like that part is actually fine, but it's the other tracking that I'm just kind of having a hard time with. And excuse the fact that I do have weights listed here. If that bothers you, then I do apologize. But like, you know, I'm trying to record when I exercise or, you know, when I weigh myself, things like that in the monthly pages, but it's just, I'm not really sticking with it. I'm having a hard time remembering to do that. So I'm kind of mostly just using the blank pages to record my readings. So I guess I should have just had just a journal, like no health tracking part. So I think, and I did put in here that I'm going to switch it up for 2026. I might switch to a Hobonichi Weeks because the A6 might be too much for me for a health tracker, but I'm really not sure. I might also just use my regular agenda and just use the month part as the health tracker part. So I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so my nightly readings. So this is, here we go. Let's find the beginning of this month. All right, I mean, technically this was in February. I don't remember what decks I was using here. I think it was my Zelda Tarot and the Wild Unknown Archetypes is what I used for that, but I'm not going to pull that out because I talked about that in my last month because this week was mostly last month or January. But so the first week I did the Oceanum Arcanae and the Nocturna Oracle. And here we go. Yeah, I don't yet have a bag for this. I think I might wait until I have all 4 of the element decks because the creator of this, I believe it's Taylor Bryn. No, Taylor Taylor, I can't remember. Is it? All right. Anyway, yeah, anyway, this deck is beautiful, and the creator is coming out with one of each of the elements. So this is obviously the water one. There's an earth one that's called the Terra Arcanae, and then there's a fire one out that's called the Ignis Arcanae, and it's not yet out, but there's going to be an air one out as well. So I'm planning on getting either the Ignis or the Terra this year. I did specifically ask my husband to get me one of those decks for Mother's Day, so I'll be surprised as which one I get. So there we go. And it did look very nice with the Nocturna Oracle here. I've got tarot decks all around me now because I keep putting them off to the side. All right, yeah, I mean, this looked lovely, especially when it's some of the water-themed cards in here. Oh, this is so dark. This is a really, really dark card. Like, it shows up much better on camera than in person, because in person, you can barely see this little kiwi. Yeah, but you can see it better on camera, it looks like. So, yeah, that's probably my only real complaint about the Nocturna Oracle. It's just a little too Nocturna, you know? Yeah, and I loved it with the Oceanum Arcanae. I thought this looked lovely, and it went well, and I enjoyed the reading. And I did use it. Yeah, I used it for my nightly reader that week, and I liked the readings I got. Oh, I just put the cards in the different piles, the wrong piles. There we go. Let me switch these around. There we go. So one more, and we'll switch to the next decks there. So, I mean, beautiful. This one, you can see a lot of the vines are kind of, or here it's like bubbles that you're seeing, or the rays from the surface of the water, and then, I don't know, I just find different elements that I can kind of connect in the cards. But yeah, these looked lovely together, and it was especially nice when it was water-themed cards, which I really quite liked. It came in here between the Four of Wands and the Hangman. Yeah, love it. All right, next one. All right, so I did almost that whole week. I only missed one day, which was actually the most I've done in so far. Even the next few weeks, I've had several missed days. But yeah, so I actually did readings on this one almost every day. Just missed one day. All right, so the next one was The Art of Adventure and This Might Help. And we already showed that, so I'm not going to pull them out again. But, excuse me, I missed 3 days right here in the middle. But yeah, enjoyed the way that looked, and I enjoyed those two decks together. And then the next one... Sorry, I had to pause again to really clear my throat. But so Moon Crystal, yeah. So I knew I was going to bring this one back out again. I did the Moon Crystal and the Chinois Oracle. So let me grab that real quick. So here's the Chinois Oracle, the bag that I made for it. Let me get this out. Yeah, so these looked lovely together. Here we go. Oof. I don't know if I'm going to cut this part out or not. Maybe I'll just leave it in. All right, so, and then Moon Crystal. I did like the way these look together. I think my main issue is that because this is a Japanese deck, and even the guidebook... The guidebook is in Japanese, but it is dual language, so there's also English translation in there, which does make it easier. You know, of course, since I'm learning Japanese, I think I would have maybe preferred it just be in Japanese, but then that's also going to make it harder because I don't speak Japanese fluently. It's still something I'm very much learning. So, yeah, and I don't quite know yet how I want to use this deck, because I think I really want to get to the point where I don't really need to look in the book, and I can read what it says, like, you know, that my Japanese skills progress to that point that I understand what's going on. And these are the Chinois means like folk tales, basically, folk story, yeah, the deity stories, things like that. Yeah, so it's folklore, basically. It's Japanese folklore, and it's very beautiful. And I thought this combination looked really nice together. And, you know, because it's a little maybe less serious maybe, but I also I think of the Sailor Moon deck here, the Moon Crystal, as kind of a love deck a little bit, kind of more friendshipy kind of deck, and so it was, I was going for those vibes because, you know, it is February, so there's Valentine's Day and things like that. So I was just kind of going with that sort of vibe. And I just, you know, this is such a soft, pretty deck that I thought the energies just look nice together. But it's one where, you know, I don't get like the best messages yet because I don't quite know what I'm looking at or know about this character from a Japanese folklore. So yeah, I don't know the details yet. So there's an element of this deck that's sort of missing for me that will happen over time. So I do love the way this deck looks. It's a very beautiful deck. But anyway, so that is the Moon Crystal Tarot and the Chinois Oracle. Okay, so the final week, I only have one entry in here so far because I'm actually on this day right here, and I missed the first two nights. We've had an extremely busy week, and we've been getting to bed really late because of that. So I didn't get it. Like it was too late to do readings. I nearly passed out as soon as I hit the bed. But I did do one last night, and so I use the Cosmic Slumber, and here's the Lucid Daydreams again. So I'm gonna pull these out real quick. So I went with this combination because, you know, it's Cosmic Slumber and Lucid Daydreams, and I felt like that theme maybe would go together, but I wasn't sure how it would look together. And last night was the first reading that I did with these, so I can't really have an opinion yet, but I gotta say they don't look good together. I do like the theme. Like they're both kind of about dreams in an interesting way. So they're kind of both good. Maybe nighttime reflection cards, but I don't know. It just, so far, I'm not liking this combination, even though I thought maybe the themes might go well together. It's okay. The reading I did last night was fine. I'll see how it goes for the rest of this week, and maybe I'll come back to this, but I think the coloring is just like a little too off, because this, you know, the Lucid Daydreams is so bright and bold, and it's got that stark white, whereas the Lucid Daydreams, did I call this Lucid Daydreams? Cosmic Slumber. Cosmic Slumber is very bright and bold and with the stark white, and the Lucid Daydreams is very muted, very I mean, it's both both decks are very like bizarre-ish in their own way, kind of dreamlike. And this combination is quite nice. I like the pinks with this one, but yeah, it didn't quite match. You know, this one's more muted and more grungy, whereas this one is very bright and bold and stark white. And yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about it. Yeah, so this might have been a bust as far as combination goes, but yeah, I'm gonna give it the rest of the week and see how I like it at the end of that week. All right. So one thing I've been doing in my monthly recap videos is going over my main agenda. This will be quick, don't worry. And just kind of going over because this is my main agenda. It's social media tracker-ish sort of thing, or planner. It's my main planner, where I actually do planning type stuff, and yeah. So but this section here, the yearly index, is the it's what I'm listing for my YouTube channels, which I really only post on this one, honestly, but yeah, and I try to do 2 videos a week on Tuesdays and Saturdays. And yeah, so for the month of February, on February 1st, I did my magical month of January. And then I did the open cards, and it's going to be the same thing in March. This one goes up on the 1st again, and then open cards will be on the 4th. So this video will be Saturday, open cards will be on Tuesday. And then I had the in bulk ritual video. Go check that out. And one of my new decks, the Illuminated Earth. I'm sorry, Illuminated Earth. deck, Oracle deck. So go check that video out if you're interested. And then I had I switched these ones around because this hashtag, the loveliest decks, I switched it so that it could come out on the day after Valentine's Day. So I did that hashtag, that tarot tag there, and I did my 2025 wish list. And there's already a deck that I'm planning on getting in the next few days that was not on that list. So I'm already deviating from it. But anyway, and then I had my Pisces study and of course my Rujin Kado for cards number 19 and 20. So here are my plans for March, my magical month. That's this video. Open cards will be the next one. I think I'm going to do the next, like the new deck walkthrough on that one. And then, so I might have these two. I might switch this up a little bit. I'm not sure, but I have a video going. I'm going to be doing a video going over my brand new Japanese decks, and there's 3 of them that I got in January, so I still have to do a video for that, and I'm combining them all into one. And I also have another new deck that I'd like to do a walkthrough of. So those that might switch around. And I am getting a Witch's Moon box this month, so I'll probably have that around here. And looks like on the 18th, that's what the plan is currently. I'm planning on doing my latest bag creation, so I'm really excited about that. Hopefully, you guys like the bags I've made recently. And then I have my Aries study, and I am going to have an Ostara ritual video. So, and then of course the final video will be the Rujin Kado study cards 21, 22, and 23, hopefully. So we'll see how that goes. All right. All right, so finally we're at the end of the video. This was all the decks that I used in February. There's a couple that are missing from here. I didn't record the Shinwa Oracle, and there was one other that I didn't put on here. I think it's, oh, I wrote Anime Monday instead of Anima Monday. That's funny. But there was another deck that I missed on here, but I'll add it at some point. But yeah, so these are all the decks that I used. But what I'm excited about, the tournaments. All right. So the tarot tournament. The winner last year was last month for January was the Zelda Tarot. And let's see, what is my favorite deck that I used this month? So I think it might be between these two, the Cosmic Slumber and the Anna K. So here's the thing. The Anna K is my ultimate favorite tarot deck. Like I said, it's a deck that I only use for myself. It's kind of my own personal deck. It's my me deck, you know? And I do consider it my favorite tarot deck, but it might not always be the favorite that I've used that month, if that makes sense, you know? So, but I did really enjoy the readings that I got from this one. So it's a strong contender. And then I also really enjoyed using the Cosmic Slumber, and I just kept kind of pulling this one out. So I think I'm going to go with the Cosmic Slumber for this month. So my favorite tarot deck for this month was the Cosmic Slumber. And I think, was this my favorite of last year? No, it wasn't. My Star Trek Tarot was my favorite of last year, but I think I chose the Cosmic Slumber for a favorite last year as well. So on February here, I am going to put Cosmic Slumber. All right, there we go. So that is my favorite tarot deck that I used for the month of February. And now the Oracle Tournament. Oh, I see what I did. I used purple pen on this, but that's okay. And I used green on this, but I'm going to use black for both for this. So, my answer to my favorite Oracle deck this month is actually pretty easy. And I think it's hidden next to me. I don't know where I put it. Oh. I kind of tossed it off to the side. Anyway, And this is going to be kind of funny because I'm currently using this combination, and we just discussed it because I don't like these two decks together, but so far, but I got to go with the Lucid Daydreams as my favorite Oracle for this month. Yeah, I've just really enjoyed the looseness of having a deck that that there's no, you know, there's no keywords on it. There's not even a guidebook. So there is a guidebook technically, but it's not available. Like there was a like a PDF link in here, but when I go to the PDF, there's no page. So there's no guidebook for this, and there's no keywords, and I've just kind of loved it. So I'm gonna put the full thing here: Garden of Lucid Daydreams. There we go. Just squeeze that one in there. All right. So yeah, and I'm pretty happy with that choice. Like I said, I'm not thrilled about these two decks together, but separately, I've really enjoyed both decks. So those are the winners. And real quick, let's see, I didn't get any new tarot decks that month for January or February. I still have, this is still blank. But I think, oh gosh, I think I'm going to buy the Desert Illuminations, or yeah, the Desert Illuminations. That's what it's called, right? I think I'm going to buy that today or tomorrow, so right at the end of February. But I probably, you know, obviously I won't get it until March. But yeah, and I got no new Oracle decks in February, but all of these came in January. So no new decks in February, but I think I am going to buy the Desert Illuminations right at the end of the month, and it will arrive in March. All right, so there we go. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.